So I grew up playing competitive travel baseball, and
And even then, it was a little crazy, wasn't
yeah, not like it is today, but
it? Yeah.
it's just younger today and more. Um, but at 18 years old, after Brian's dad passed away, and it was just another trauma that wasn't processed,
Hmm.
that was added to earlier traumas when I was a kid that weren't processed. I quit playing, and when that happened, a way that you could talk about it, it was an identity crisis. Who was I? I mean,
Hmm.
I completely identified with that, being a baseball player, right? And all over the world, and for thousands of years, there has been this concept, and it related to the question, "Who am I?" And all over the world, it has been suggested that it's the most important question any of us can really ask. The thing about our culture is we're so distracted, we never get to that question. It doesn't happen. So, what happens then? We run around trying to add all these things to it, when in reality, identity is natural. That's just who we are in our natural self, right? You don't have to add anything to yourself. But that's how confused we are, right? We're not familiar with that being the most important question we can ask, right? And and they also, it's also suggested, and it's going to sound a little wild, that the way it really works is when you ask that question, that you be quiet. You pose that question and then be still. And the idea is that the answer arises from the depth of our being, remembering who we are, how natural it is to be ourselves. You don't have to add anything to yourself. You see what I mean? And so
I see
that
what you mean, but the practice of that is
is
much harder
beyond
to do
complicated, right?
than it is for you to say it.
Well, and this, it actually really speaks to where we are. So how this is how I would kind of relate to what you said. Okay, the more I tapped into who I am, you could say, or who I'm not, what happened is it started to connect me to everybody. So I started to think in the terms of we, like, well, who are we? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on here? And and then just more information came my way. So the environment that we're in is so stressful on our bodies that it completely changes the way our bodies operate. The heaviness of our experience as human beings affects every dimension of our systems. So it affects the way the brain develops. It affects the way the uh, nervous system develops, the organs, the entire everything, the way our cells operate. It's just how heavy it is here, right? And so it's 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 made it to where we're all walking around with bodies that are just completely affected by the past.